Thank you, dear viewers, for joining us at this news hour on Equinoxe Television. We're broadcasting from Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. I am Babler Jonathan. In our top stories in this edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe Television, a Cameroonian woman in detention in Atlanta, United States of America, in connection to a shooting incident in Midtown Atlanta. One person was killed and 2 others injured in that incident. The victim is decrying conspiracy against her in Nigeria. The military says it has killed 25 members of extremist group Islamic State West Africa province in a series of strikes in the northeastern part of the country. And Chadian transitional authorities and the opposition are discussing the way to peace in Africa's 5th biggest nation. Stay with us. We begin this newscast on the roads. Bad roads is a major problem. The problem of bad roads is affecting Cameroonians from the big cities to the hinterlands. It is a problem that is further compounding the already very difficult living conditions of several Cameroonians. Malaglory takes us to the Senegal Maritime Division, littoral region of the Republic of Cameroon. She's going to show us the horrible state of several roads in that part of the country. Her report.
This is the main road linking several localities in the town of Edea 1 municipality. The inhabitants go through hurdles when going about their different activities. The youths are sometimes obliged to reduce the level of mud on the road when it rains heavily.
There is no road. We are suffering. We are suffering. Really suffering. We are crying. You cannot come out of your house. If you lack salt to cook, to prepare food, or even Maggi, you will remain inside the house because you cannot come out.
The muddy road in Edea 1 has affected business activities in that locality, according to the inhabitants, who now call on the public authorities to construct roads in the area. As you can see, the entrance to my business place has been blocked with mud. I'm forced to go towards my customers.
We are calling on the government, whether it's the government or it's the council of Edea 1, we are calling on them. They should do something.
Just like other towns in Cameroon, the coming of the rains has further worsened the already bad state of roads, leading to several accidents. Measures should be taken by the authorities to develop these localities with the construction of drainage system and roadside gutters.
In the Bakassi Peninsula, crisis-stricken southwest region of the Republic of Cameroon, the people are also suffering because of this very problem of bad roads. For several years today, inhabitants of different parts of the Bakassi Peninsula have been using the sea to be able to move in and out of that part of the Republic of Cameroon, and this is a problem that municipal as well as administrative authorities have been raising again and again to the central administration, but without any concrete solution coming as of now. In the meantime, the main road that he was running through that part of the southwest region is under reconstruction. The authorities have said that the reconstruction is going to be done as soon as possible. The project is already ongoing. In the meantime, as back to school draws near, administrative and school officials are calling on government to take some measures in order to ease back to school, in order to make the learning and teaching situation in that part of the country much more conducive than it is now. It is quite difficult for the people as a result of infrastructural difficulties, challenges and resources. And we talked to the mayor of Kombo, Abedimo, who is the president of the Southwest Regional Bureau of the Cameroon Councils and Cities. Details in this report with Anabila.
In the oil-rich Bakassi Peninsula, a locality in the Indian division of the Southwest region, the people are preparing for the 2022-2023 academic year. Preparations for school resumption isn't really smooth at Kombo Abedimo. The security crisis plus late arrival of minimum package are some of the reasons behind the delay.
The minimum package comes in the form of a credit card. And this credit card has a procedure that we have to follow. This credit card has to go from the municipal treasury to the regional treasury, where funds will be made available to the municipal treasurer for the purchase of the various items found in the minimum package. We don't have the money cash as I'm talking. We even had a problem in the Nigerian division where the minimum package credit cards had all been withdrawn. As I'm talking to you right now, Mr. Babila, you understand that we don't know the position of the credit card for the minimum package in less than 3 weeks to the school resumption.
To speed up preparations and ensure back to school properly kicks off, the mayor for Kumbu Abedimo wishes the minimum package to get didactic school materials be sent and cashed on time.
Permit me make a plea on behalf of the municipal authorities of the southwest, not only of the Bakassi Peninsula, that the government should create a mechanism where these funds can be transferred to the council's accounts, to the various council's accounts, whereby the money can be withdrawn in the days ahead so that this minimum package will be purchased and distributed within the maximum time to avoid this cry of the mayor had not done this, the mayor had not done that, which had been the case in the past. I think if we take this approach, the issue of the minimum package will be solved.
In the Bakassi Peninsula, the education sector has always been wanting. Insufficient teachers who receive salaries but live abroad are some of the challenges. The mayor lauds the efforts of devoted teachers and encourages them to continue educating Cameroonians in the conflict-stricken northwest and southwest regions.
I call on our teachers to take their responsibilities, taking into account that they are of a noble profession and we trust in them and we believe in them. I will not deny the fact that they have not been going through difficulties. All have never been the bed of roses, but with the minimum, with the limited resources, we are struggling to make sure that the teachers transferred to the Bakassi Peninsula have the minimum of the best from especially the council and the government. We equally call on the Ministry of Basic Education to create a special line for the construction of teachers' quarters and classrooms in the Bakassi Peninsula.
Most teachers in Bakassi, precisely in Isangele and Kumbu Abedimo, live in Limbe and are transported daily to their various schools by boat with the assistance of the Rapid Intervention Battalion. They are expected to brave all the odds as usual and be present for their pupils and students come September 5, first day of school resumption for the 2022-2023 academic year.
2 children who disappeared from public view for several days have been discovered in the home of a tradi practitioner in Bafang in the west region of the Republic of Cameroon. Gendarme officers from the Banja Gendarmerie Brigade are now investigating to establish what exactly happened, who took the children hostage, and why. Smanjikan Gabriel reports.
They were considered to have been kidnapped after spending 2 weeks out of their house in Bana, a neighborhood in Bafang, west region of Cameroon. The eldest girl, who is 16-year-old, and the smallest, aged 10, were discovered at a tradi practitioner's residence. They are my kids. It's been 2 weeks since I started looking for them. The children left my house at night, and for the past 2 years I've been in Banja. They have never even gone out. This is the first time they are living without any information. I thought it was their elder sister who took them out, but after several calls, I was told it wasn't the elder sister. I don't know how they got to this man's compound. The father of these two believes the kids were only kidnapped because he has never brought them out to the man in question. But for the tradi practitioner, he says he was going out to the park when he met the two on the way with one sick. I was home when I received a call. As I went to the place, I met with these kids sitting by the roadside. When I asked where their father was, they didn't reply. I took them in and even noticed that the big one was sick. I even bought a chicken and prepared medicine, which I covered her with. Residents of Bana neighborhood have debunked any suspects of the kids being kidnapped. They say the mother usually brought them to the tradi practitioner for treatment, and the said tradi practitioner has been very peaceful since he came to the neighborhood 2 years ago. I can say that I know him so well because he is a neighbor here in the quarter, since he's a native doctor and makes medicine for many people around, and he's been here for 2 years. The man is not disturbing because he attends to everyone. It's the first time such is happening. It will be only after the results of the investigations done by Chief Warrant Officer Tala Christopher, commander of the Banja Gendarmerie Brigade, that one can confirm if the kids were kidnapped or not.
She has been arrested and she's now in detention in Atlanta, United States of America. She is a Cameroonian woman who was arrested in connection to a shooting incident, and during that shooting incident, one person was killed and 2 others wounded, and she's been accused to have carried out the shooting, but she says that it is a conspiracy against her. Details with Innocent.
Insufficient knowledge and non-use of contraceptive methods is one of the major causes of unplanned pregnancies in Cameroon. Despite the availability of several contraceptive devices in drugstores, just few persons purchase them, causing a huge stock to expire.
We said that we have some products that expire in the warehouses, and sometimes people do not know how many quantity they can order for the population. So we are here to train them, to give them the capacity to estimate the needs of the contraceptive methods that the population needs.
Speaking in the course of a seminar, some men and women highlighted the fact that some methods are too difficult or unpleasant to use consistently, while others have been termed unsatisfactory. However, experts in contraception and family planning say,
yes, we have different family planning methods as concerns specifically reproductive health that we're talking about. They are there at the regional funds, and they come through Sename, which is the national distributor, through a distribution plan usually established by the Department of Family Health, that is LADESO, and they are always there, and people do access them in the different health facilities, as we see from our consumption data in all the stock management tools like the GHR.
Here you have people involved in the management of commodities at different levels, with the NGOs, the regional funds, the central warehouse. Those people, we give them the capacity to be able to manage the contraceptive, to manage the maternal health drugs, following the norms to avoid expired items, to enable people at the lower level, at the last kilometers, to get the commodities they need when they need.
It is important to note that knowledge on methods of birth control as well as access to them is a basic requirement for effective contraception use.
Immaculate Fogo reporting there on family planning. Now back to Atlanta, United States of America, where a young Cameroonian woman is in detention in connection to a shooting incident in Midtown Atlanta. One person was killed and 2 others injured during that incident. The victim decries a conspiracy against her. Innocent.
Current Libyan bars The Cameroonian lady Raisa Kenya is accused of shooting 3 people in Midtown Atlanta, United States of America on Monday, killing 2 and injuring 1. According to the Atlanta Police Department, detaining the suspects they arrested at the city's international airport, they responded to a call about a shooting on a busy Midtown block at about 1:45 p.m. While on the scene of the crime, they found 2 people who have been shot. About 15 minutes later, while officials were investigating that scene, they received another call of a man shot at a Colony Square mixed-use campus a block away. The police said 2 of the victims died, Wesley Freeman, 41, and Michael Shinas, 60. Freeman, according to reports, was a long-time employee at Miss Kenya's former accounting firm, while Michael was manager at her apartment complex. Security sources added the suspects probably opened fire in the 2 locations before heading to Hartsfield's Jackson Atlanta Airport, where officers used security footage and their camera network to track Raisa to the airport. Police arrested her without an incident at about 4 p.m. in an area where she would not have needed to go through a security checkpoint. They allegedly recovered a handgun that the suspect, Raisa, had used. Media reports say Raisa is an information security manager who appears to have named 2 of the victims in a string of social media posts and a lawsuit alleging a conspiracy against her. Officers are still investigating why the shooting happened, but said they believed the victims had been targeted specifically by the suspect, Raisa Kenya. At the least, 6 law enforcement agencies were involved in the investigation.
And the victim is decrying a conspiracy against her. Now take a listen to the Cameroonian woman, Atlanta arrested, Raisa arrested in Atlanta. She spoke on social media.
Started my own consulting and accounting firm. In 2021, I was retaliated against by my employer at the time, Video USA, LLP. My home was broken into, my computers were hacked, and my phones were spoofed. I reported several violations of SEC US Securities and Exchange Commission regulations, violations of Public Company Accounting Oversight Board standards, and violations of AICPA standards within the IT audit engagements. Wesley Freeman, the IT audit director at Video, had done a very bad job for more than 5 years. There were significant deficiencies and material weaknesses across all the engagements I was assigned to and was managing, which at the time were 50% of the public clients and 85% of the private clients in the Southeast region. I was severely retaliated against and constructively discharged. My home was broken into. My life and my family lives were threatened not only by Video USA, LLP and its partners and members of its senior management team, but also by their clients. Clients actually threatened me in front of the IT audit principal, Scott Meyer. Furthermore, Video USA, employees and partners leveraged their relationship with people living in my condominium in order to pursue the retaliation at my home. If you are planning to move to a condominium, I would advise that you stay away from one managed by Beacon Management Services. They are not only incompetent, but criminal as well. Anyone who knows me or has worked with me knows my character and my work ethic. Therefore, knows that I am telling the truth. Wesley Freeman is the laziest manager I have had the displeasure of working for. His laziness is only surpassed by his incompetence. How hard is it really to test elevated privileges for systems when you have professional organizations and the SEC already setting the standards for you? You bet I am suing all of them. It is a shame that the 6th biggest public accounting firm has criminals at the top. No one is above the law.
Atlanta shooting suspect speaking there on social media. Now we go to Nigeria. The Nigerian military says it has killed at least 25 members of extremist group Islamic State West Africa province in a series of airstrikes in the northeastern part of the country. The number of casualties has not been independently verified. According to a Nigerian Air Force spokesman, the militants were targeted in the Sambisa forest in Borno State, where they had gathered. And ISWAP's local leader, Fiyaba Yuram, was one of the people targeted, but it's not clear if he was killed. This is what the Nigerian military spokesperson said, and the military also says it has killed an unspecified number of suspected militants in another round of bombardment that began on Saturday in Tubun's area on the shores of Lake Chad, also in Borno State, and the militants were said to be conducting training when the Nigerian military struck. Chad's national dialogue is ongoing. The country's transitional authorities and the opposition are now discussing the way to peace in Africa's fifth biggest nation. Chad's national dialogue conference is unfolding in Germany. It has been described by the country's ruling junta, General Mahamat Idris Deby, as a decisive movement for the nation, as a decisive moment for the nation, a time to correct the wrongs of history. 3 weeks are scheduled to allow over 1,400 delegates from the government, civil society and opposition parties and groups to discuss peace, a new constitution and the reform of institutions in the country. Chad is the fifth biggest African nation. And now to the Democratic Republic of Congo, we bring to you updates on the Ebola virus in that part of the continent of Africa. And the authorities in the Democratic Republic of Congo have declared a resurgence of Ebola following confirmation of a case in the eastern province of North Kivu. A woman died last week in the town of Benin. It is the second outbreak in the country this year. The previous epidemic was declared to have ended in July. The World Health Organization's regional director for Africa said the authorities in North Kivu has successfully stopped several flare-ups of the deadly virus before and was confident they will bring this one under control soon. Scientists say it is unrealistic to think Ebola will ever be eradicated, but it is now easier to prevent a crisis. This is the fourth outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The first outbreak was back in 1976. And that's it for the first part of this newscast. Talking Point is up next. Mosoke Lucas Lionga, a community empowerment expert, is our guest today. Thank you for joining us today.
I'm happy to be at Equinoxe television once more.
Right, we're going to be talking about the poverty-stricken situation of African youth, and majority of Africa's more than 80 million young people are living in poverty, chronic poverty for many of them. What's the problem?
There are a number of reasons, but I would love to talk on a few of them. The first issue is that, African youths have not been exposed to the contextual skills that they need in order to meet up with the demands of the job market. Most of what African youths study in colleges and universities are skills that are not very much demanded by the job market. The job market has actually evolved. The job market is now so complicated and sophisticated, and it needs skills that are up to date in order to meet up with the job market. Actually, there are so many jobs, but the trainings that African youths get from their colleges and universities do not match the jobs, the available jobs. There are jobs, physical jobs, and you also have online jobs. So the problem is the training that has been given to African youths. The training is wanting, is below standard, and does not meet up with the sophistication of the present day jobs. That is why African youths cannot meet up. So most of them cannot meet up with these jobs. In as much as they have studied what is not relevant to the present contextual job market and job demand of the world. Because you know, most world class universities are training students with the present contextual skills that the job market needs. But unfortunately, we have an African system, African university system, that has remained outdated, and nothing is being done to change the complete system, to overhaul the complete system and bring that which is required today. But nevertheless, I may not so much blame the African university system, because the personalities, the lecturers, the professors that they need for this shift are not available. So that's where the problem is from. So in as much as they may even desire to bring a shift that will meet up with the world demand and the world market sophistication, the professors, the lecturers are not available for that. So they keep on teaching students that which is already outdated, that which is no longer useful to the job market, and we keep recycling and giving that which is already outdated, and the students come out with confidence and trust and hope that they have studied. But when they face the job market, they realize that they have not even started. So that is a problem with the sophisticated job markets that are existing today. You know, the job market has changed. It's no longer the way it was, especially with the advent of information and communication technologies. Everything has shifted, everything has changed. There's a serious technological disruption that has affected jobs worldwide.
The African countries, including Nigeria, South Africa, and even Ghana, are coming up to that standard of high quality training that correspond to the exigencies of the job market.
Yes, the truth is, Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, and the rest that you've called, it was individual personal effort of entrepreneurship. You know, most Ghanaians, Nigerians, South Africans, they quickly caught the secret of entrepreneurship and innovation long ago, and they worked on their own. It's not the universities that brought this. No, it is the individuals and the personalities in Nigeria. They were very fast or quickly exposed to international entrepreneurial way of doing things. And quickly, a good number of Nigerian youths, Ghanaian youths, South African youths, and so on, they actually caught this secret. Because entrepreneurship is a concept that has been for long, but it's not yet that grounded in Africa. But the English-speaking African countries were smart to catch the secret of entrepreneurship. So a good number of their youth are highly skilled. Unfortunately, a good number of the French-speaking African countries delayed. It's now that they are trying to realize the fact that entrepreneurship, innovation, and so on, information and communication technologies were so important. And now a good number of youths are trying to catch up. But it will take a lot of time before they'll be able to catch up. So unemployment is going to linger for long before many more youths will be able to meet up with the challenges. That is why there are many trainings and seminars and conferences today where a good number of these realities are exposed, so that youths in Africa should understand that the educational system is virtually not offering what is required by the job market today in Africa. So they have to make individual efforts in order to gain that knowledge that they need to meet up with the job markets. That's the point.
What do you think about the fact that many of Africa's universities are still training job seekers and not job creators. We've been talking more about jobs in the job market and so on. Now, job creators, what do you think about this? That many of the Africans who leave higher institutions of learning are more or less job seekers.
You must be highly innovative and contextual in your entrepreneurial actions, especially in the line of business, because entrepreneurship is dynamic, it's not static. So what is taught today will change in the next 6 months. So that is what the point is. Africa have been static. Africa have been so static, whereas other continents are so dynamic, and you remain static. Other continents have gone far ahead of you. So the universities in the African continent, especially the government institutions, are actually very static and are not moving with the trend of the job markets. They continue to teach what is no longer relevant. And when youth come out with degrees, they think that they have studied, even up to PhD. You still come out and you realize that you are so wanting. You have not even started. Because to be very honest, what is being taught in most universities in Africa today covers just about 20% of the sophistication that is required by the complex job markets that we have in the world today. And because of that a pitfall, because of this setback, a lot of youth leave universities thinking that they have studied, but when they go, they realize that the job market is not the way they thought, and now they are actually unemployed. They are actually struggling now to see how to meet up, but it takes a lot of time. That is why when you are studying in a university, know that you might gain just 20% of that which is required. You should already engage on how to get the other 80% to beef up. So many students today, they are studying in the university. They are also studying other things that will help beef up that which they are studying in university, because a lot of things that are relevant today, they are not found in university books. They are found in professional books that have been written by experts in certain fields. So you must read those extra books that are not necessarily found in university four walls of the classes or the classrooms. So these are some of the books that gives you the reality of the job market. That is not what is taught in class. So you have to, on your own, go for these books, go for this knowledge. That is why students that are very smart, within 3 years as they are studying for their degrees, they have read a good number of books. So they are already exposed. When they leave the universities, they have a good job. Nevertheless, Africa should not continue to remain creating or sending out job seekers. Africa should change so that students who leave the university should be job creators. And this is a new paradigm that other nations already have, other continents already have. But Africa is so slow. Africa is so slow. In as much as Africa is having all what it takes to develop, Africa is not developing nor producing graduates that should fit into that context of creating, that context of production, that context of industrialization.
Now, what about policies that should create the enabling environment for citizens to prosper for this paradigm shift in terms of training?
Yes, actually the policies are there. African nations have good policies. They even have good constitution. They have good laws. But you don't build a nation by ending up in paperwork. You build a nation by opening up the private sector to thrive by the fallouts of the Industrial Revolution, especially the technological fallouts of today. If I ask a youth today to tell me what is called blockchain technology, so many of them that have left university will not tell me, because it's not taught in most universities. But this is what is dominating the world today, blockchain technology, because it's going to take over the world systems. These are things that are supposed to already have been introduced in university studies, so that the youth should understand where the world is going to. So the governments have created a favorable environment, but they have not made it possible for businesses to come and thrive. That's a problem, because there is a lot of hostility when you have to do with businesses. Businesses operate where there is peace. Businesses operate where they are sure of security. But when there is insecurity in nations, especially most African nations, giant multinationals cannot come and invest billions of dollars. They will lose it. So a lot of insecurity in Africa is also causing some of the multinationals not to come in the real space to operate. But nevertheless, you cannot depend on multinationals. For how long? Africa is 60 years old after independence. You cannot depend on foreign investment. You have to invest as a continent. So Africa should unite and invest as a continent. They will carry out giant investments that African youths are going to benefit from. Because it will not be too easy for individual nations to try, because there are a lot of multi-billion-dollar projects that as a continent they can easily carry out these projects, and these projects are going to lead to millions upon millions of jobs for youths. So these are some of the things that is why when you see African leaders joking with the future of African youths, it's going to be chaotic not too long from now, because the truth is that unemployment rate is increasing every year. Every year, millions of African graduates are released from universities. They don't have anything to do, because what they have studied places them to go and look for jobs. The type of job that matches what they have studied no longer exists. Jobs have migrated to sophistication. You have not studied according to that. When you come out, you are helpless. So they have to quickly catch up with the moving world.
Right, you already started answering my next question on how to move out of this cycle of poverty and hardship. And now talking about business. Before we go to the last question, which is linked to the question that I'm going to ask you now. What does it take to succeed in business?
Yes. You need only knowledge to invest.
Knowledge, and you don't have the money.
That is why I said that you don't need money to invest, you need knowledge. This is it. There's something that we call the knowledge of an individual, then the money of investors. So what do you need? You need the knowledge to become valuable, investors to be attracted to you. When you place your knowledge in place, they will rush to come and invest in what you have presented. So what you need to build is your knowledge base. You need to build creativity. You need to build innovation. That is just what you need. And that is what other youths in other nations have. And there are great venture capitalists who invest in the lives of valuable ideas and innovations. That's why I say that your own concentration is not money. Build yourself to be reliable, to be valuable, to meet up with the demands. And there are others and there are many other avenues that are looking for such people. They don't have them.
That's what you're driving through the...
Yes, that's why I say you don't need money.
Through the Excellence Union International.
Yes, the Excellence Union International Group has also come up with what we call the African Transformative Commission. It's a program that we are running to mentor and coach and empower African youths all over Africa. Youths are registered and trained in this system. Very soon this system is going to go viral in all African continents. We have all the materials available. All the materials have been uploaded and put on, and African youths are going to benefit a lot. Some are already benefiting from it. And the focus of it is what? Is entrepreneurship. The focus of it is innovative. The focus of it is creativity. How can African youth become creative? How can they be innovative? How can they be entrepreneurial? That is the solution, and that's the way out. Don't waste your time elsewhere. Come to what is working. I always say this, I'm going to say this again. If an educational system has not worked for more than 60 years, I don't think that it will work by now. It needs to be changed. It needs to be completely overhauled, re-engineered. so that something new should be put in place.
All right, Musoke Lucas Lyonga, General Coordinator and Chairman, Excellence Union Network for Africa's Development, Community Development or Empowerment Expert. Thank you for joining us today. That's it for today's edition of the News on Equinoxe Television. Stay with us.